Hello, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 119. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, how you doing this fine Sunday afternoon?
Now I'm doing good. Last 15 minutes of weirdness, man. Tech issues. Wes can't get audio. He goes, restarts his computer, rejoins the Discord, and then I lose OBS and I can't see it as a source anymore. I get what? I don't know. Tech that doesn't work is actually makes me stressed. So
Technology has come a long way in our lifetime, but at the end of the day, in a way, we're all still kind of blowing in the cartridge and pressing reset 50 times, right?
I think that's a very good analogy because that's how I felt. Because we were like, well, we'll just start restarting stuff. Like, there's no reason to not work, and you don't know why it's not working. So, it can be very, very frustrating. So,
Yeah, but it's all under control. We are live and on the air coming to you with this week's VR news. As always, a jam packed week full of VR news. Some interesting headlines this week, Roots.
yeah, actually, and I didn't get a chance to really. Well, I did have a chance, but I did something else. So I'm interested to see what's going on in those headlines. A lot of good stuff. So,
Yeah, a lot of good stuff, some weird stuff. As usual, we run the gamut, a little bit of everything for everyone. Um, been playing a lot of PlayStation VR, Roots. Like we said, it was going to happen. Well, I'm full blown into it now. I'm having a blast. Finally, starting to get my money's worth out of this PS5.
nice. Did you play some whatchamacallit, some racing?
Not yet, not yet. Actually, I think that's going to be one of my things I do on my days off because I know that Mash Daddy's down to jump in, and I think we can go up to 8 in that one. So anybody else that
Mm.
wants to jump in is going to be welcome as well. As always, make sure that you are watching the Discord invitation in the description below. If you want to wipe out with Mash Daddy and
I will be there. I just won't be in a headset. I'll be flat in it.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
It'll be fun. It'll be just as fun, just as cool, just as exciting. Well, maybe it'll be half as fun. But hanging out with you guys will be the same. So
No, that will be cool. I will agree there. Still get to hang out with friends. And speaking of friends, we have a few friends in chat today. Gamer Tag stopping by.
ooh.
What's up, GT? As is PD. All the initials, Roots. All the initials stopping by. PD, GT, GD.
Yeah, I love the gamer tag and the PD Paradise Decay. So
Onakazi in the chat, as is Corporate Zombie, who says OBS was being a dick today. OBS was being a total dick today.
yeah, it was. Onakazi says turning the PS1 upside down so it doesn't skip as much. I never
Oh
tried
yeah.
that one. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as it got later in life, that motor started to get weak, right? So we had to do what we had to do to try to get it to work. And whatever. I mean, back then, today we just call tech support or go buy another one. Back then, what you had is what you had. You had to do what it takes to make it work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Or you bought another one if you were rich, right?
Right. Corporate Zombie says CZ. I wasn't rich though, Roots. I was as poor as they come.
Yeah, I wasn't rich, but I did have my own Nintendo at 10, but it's because I had a paper out and I bought it myself. And then I told my brothers and
Yeah.
sisters they couldn't play it, and whenever I got pissed at them, because it was mine.
Yeah, I got my Nintendo at 7 for my birthday, and that's when I fell in love with gaming. And literally my entire life after that, I mean my entire childhood anyway. We didn't have money just to go buy games or anything like that, so I would get a game for my birthday. I would get a couple games for Christmas, and that's all I got for birthdays and Christmases for like the entire rest of my childhood. 'Cause that's all I wanted.
You didn't rent? Did you go rent games and stuff?
Yeah. We had a place called. I came from a very small town. We had a place called the TV Center and Record Shop,
Hmm.
and they rented NES games, and yeah, occasionally I would go down there and rent games.
How many? They must have had a huge selection. Sounds like it was huge. I'd go to Blockbuster or something, which was pretty cool. But I loved renting games. Yeah, I kind of miss it. I guess we can still do it with GameFly, but
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day because we had TV Center and Record Shop for a while. We never had a Blockbuster. Again, a very small town. From TV Center and Record Shop, after it closed, a place popped up called Appalachian Video,
mm.
which had this was PS1 era. That's when PlayStation 1 was out. And I was just reminiscing the other day about discovering the first Grand Theft Auto
Oh.
there, just on the shelf. I didn't know what it was, but it looked cool. And I took it home, and sure enough, it was cool. And you know, I remember, it's weird. I have vague memories of the launch of all the subsequent titles. I remember quite a bit about GTA 2 when it came out, but my most vivid memories of any of it was when I discovered GTA 1 on PlayStation.
My first hurrah on GTA was Nico. I think that's what, GTA 4 or was it 3? I don't know, but he was cool, man. He was from I think he was from Russia or maybe, but I don't know. It's cool. It was a really cool story.
Space Denison in chat. What's up? As is Mepper, Lee VR, Evie Man versus Gas. There's you some more initials, Roots.
We got them all. We could probably do the whole alphabet.
Sammy DOFG. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? Let's see who else here. Traveling Man 3775 Radio Runt. Garage Collective. Hello.
Radio
And I think. I'm
Radio
sorry, go ahead.
Radio Runt did not like the leaves in Ghost of Tsushima. I think it was really that he wanted me to play Cyberpunk because he was trash in that game. And it was so cool, man. I was a samurai. I was slicing and dicing. It was cool until I had to slit people's throats and break my honor code.
You know, what's interesting is that you were slicing and dicing, samuraiing it up in on your PlayStation 5 yesterday, and I was doing the same thing, only a little differently. I was playing Arashi Castles of Sin yesterday, and I was a stealth stealth assassin.
Nice.
And I figured out that that's you know, a lot of the weirdness with that game came in the melee sequences. And I came to realize is after I gained a little bit of experience, I'm more stealthy now. I don't find myself in these melee situations very much, and that might be part of the reason for the smoother gameplay now, because I'm just sneaking up behind these guys and stabbing them in the back, or I'm sicking my dog on them, or poisoning them. There's a number of different ways that you can take these guys out rather than just running their face first and having a melee battle. So I think that might have a little something to do with my improved experience that I'm having with that game.
Yeah, sounds cool. Who doesn't want to poison somebody? I think you could do that in Hitman 3, right? I need to get back into that game.
Yeah, that's an amazing game with endless possibilities. And speaking of which, shout out Kenty Poo. He took issue, Roots, with my constantly saying that the PSVR library was my favorite library of exclusives.
Ooh.
So he made this big long comment post on one of our recent videos, and he listed all of the PlayStation exclusives, and out in front of them he put a PC exclusive. And the idea to him is that it was just so obvious that PC was superior. And he said, "See, do you feel the same now, Wes?" And honestly, Roots, looking up and down that list, he just proved to me what I was saying. So no, I mean, he didn't change my mind at all, but it got me thinking. We've talked about it a few times. We need to go ahead and just bite the bullet and have this conversation already on our show. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that sometime between now and the end of the year, we don't have to do it like immediately. We have 3 episodes of the virtual show. Each one of these episodes, we rank the best exclusives on each platform. So we pick the top 10, top 15, if we're feeling froggy, maybe the top 20 exclusives on each platform. Maybe we have guests in to discuss each platform and help us come to a consensus on these lists. And then after we get all that done, then the list or the platforms go head to head. And then we have, at the end of it all, some finality. This is the best platform of exclusives. This is the second best. This is the third best. I think if we get the right guests and talk about the right games, that this can make for some compelling content and some good conversation with our community.
Yeah, not only that, but we're making amazing lists for the community to saying here's the best of all the platforms in 3 episodes, bangers, right? That's a good idea. And maybe if you think you could add to the content, let us know, and maybe you could be on as a guest. But we'll be talking about it who we want on, I guess, right? I know Eric will be in there.
Yeah, I have some. Yeah. I was thinking maybe we would go with Mash Daddy on the Quest episode, and I have people in mind for the PSVR episode as well as the PC episode.
Yes.
So
I like your idea. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it sounds fun, and it's something, similar things have been done on other channels, but not with the qualifier that we're talking about exclusives. No one has ranked that I know of the exclusives on each platform and then decided which one was superior to the others. Obviously, we're going to disagree on it. Not everyone's going to agree, but I think it will make for a fun conversation.
I agree. And Decepticon says, "Aw,
he probably doesn't say anything like that, Roots.
Probably not.
Anyway, as mentioned before, tons of great headlines to get into. I think the headlines are kind of the highlight of the show this week. Although there's some cool stuff in the gaming section. Anyway, let's go ahead and kick it off. Get into the headlines. Top headline this week: Facebook Connect 2021 will take place in October. So we got word from Facebook that what used to be known as Oculus Connect and what used to take place in September now will be taking place toward the end of October. I find the timing curious, Roots, because it's like 3 days before Halloween, and everyone is hoping for a release date for Resident Evil 4. Things seem to be lining up pretty well for that. If in fact they're going to come out on the stage and say it's available now, it would make sense to move it back a little bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Or even just have it say it'll be available in 4 days on the Halloween. Nice Halloween release. But yeah, I think maybe even a couple days early so that people can make their content for Halloween, right? So
a lot of things expected this year. Obviously, they're planning to roll out their AR smart glasses this year. Well, not AR smart glasses, rather, but their prototype, right? They're smart glasses, but they're not AR glasses. And it's kind of a research project so that they can bring us the AR glasses in a few years. So we're expecting news on that. Where a lot of people are expecting a new, more advanced Oculus Quest model. I really wasn't expecting that until next year, but I do think they're going to bring something big, whether it be on the software front or on the hardware front. Very rarely do one of these events come and go without some kind of big announcement being made. So exciting times. Only what, about 2 months away, 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So not very long to wait on Facebook Connect.
Did they say this was going to be in person or if this was going to be online only?
I think it's going to be digital, and I'm actually kind of offended, Roots, because I've been doing this now for a few years, and every year I say the same thing. We should be watching this from the front row live in 3D VR. There's no reason. We have the technology to do it. It's expensive. These are expensive cameras, but they're expensive to me. They're not expensive to Facebook. It's a drop in the bucket to buy one of these cameras. Why haven't they done this yet, Roots? It seems like the biggest no-brainer of all time.
Maybe they don't have the inside track or the clout to get in with Facebook. Oh, wait, it's their own event. I don't know, man. There's really no reason, right? And it's not like they're going to say, well, we got to invest in these cameras if they don't already own them. And we won't ever use them for anything again, VR related. I mean, you know what I mean? They're in VR. So, I mean, there's really no reason to, or not to, and hopefully they do it soon.
One of the reasons maybe because I have tried watching the 2D stream. They generally you can attend it in VR using venues,
Mm.
um, but generally it's a 2D stream, and I mean, let's be honest, it doesn't have the best connection rate. Like there's typically a lot of jank with the stream. Even watching it on YouTube, sometimes there's a lot of jank with it. So maybe that's the thing because
Mm.
obviously doing a 3D VR stream, even a 180 VR, uh, infinitely more bandwidth required for that. And if they can't get the 2D one right, I got to imagine the 3D one would be a nightmare.
I think they should be able to, but I mean, to each their own. I mean, if there's going to do all these things, one of the things that I would rather not go to would be something like this over any other concert or whatever. Bring me something good. Although, venues is kind of, I don't know, man. It's lackluster. When I've gone there, it's like it's a good idea, but that's not really. It's just like everything that Facebook does in that respect, whether it's that or any of the other things so far. It's a good idea, but not implemented well yet. So
Well, the last time I went in there, it was a friggin' nightmare, man, because they have since, there's a new venues now. I mean, it's not very new anymore, but they overhauled venues. So there's like this lobby area now where you're not just going in it to go to the venue. Now you're going to this lobby, this hub area, and launching from that into whatever event that you want to watch. And when I went to check this little lobby area out and meet my daughter in there to go check, I forget what it was we were going in there to watch. Uh, that place was like the rec room lobby. I mean, it was just full of loud, annoying kids and people just walking up and not taking the hint and trying to butt in. And I mean, it was not a good experience.
yeah, what a bummer.
Yeah. Headline: Facebook launches Horizon workrooms on Quest. This I found very interesting, Roots. There was a surprise launch this last week of Horizon workrooms. Up to 50 people can meet in the same digital workspace, complete with a gamut of tools and your own personal desk. So I thought this was really cool.
Hmm.
I got to imagine that it's pretty polished, or else they wouldn't be rolling it out. And the first thing I thought of when I saw this thing was 2021 show.
I was
That
just
maybe,
That's what I just
yeah,
thought too, man. Good, yeah, let's do it.
yeah. So normally we meet in big screen to discuss our award winners with the Patreons and decide who's going to win these awards. But if we have new tech to check out, maybe we go that route.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Did you get the? You may not have even been in your quest. Did you get an invitation into the Horizon beta this week?
I did not, but I already got it like a month or two ago, so I'm already in.
Yeah, I never got one, but I did notice that this past week that I got one on both accounts. Like
Ooh,
I got one on my personal account, I got one on the show account. Um, so yeah, I haven't went in there yet, but we have the invitation now. So
we should go in there and film it because especially you haven't gone in? It is a gem.
no, and I felt that it was weird because like I started to install it and I didn't have to agree to any kind of disclaimer or anything. I imagine that they make you agree to like what's the word I'm looking
NDA?
for? Yeah, an NDA when you start the program up, right?
I don't think it's under NDA anymore. I think it's like been out, even though not everybody has it. It's like, as far as I know, everybody can stream it or whatever. So
Mash Daddy in the chat says that they've been using workrooms. The new deal here says we've been using workrooms for our mod meetings, and it's pretty our mod. Are you doing voice to text? Voice to text, Eric. Armad, like the name Armad. That's funny. We've been using workrooms for our mod meetings, and it's pretty amazing. So that's good to hear. I'm glad. Yeah, it's weird because typically Facebook shows off this very high standard of polished before they let something make it to market with their name on it.
Mm.
Hence App Lab and all this other stuff that comes with it. And we know this from Carmack's talks, where he talks about trying to get apps and features launched on the Quest store, but the higher ups at Facebook won't let them go because apparently they don't think things that are very polished are very polished. So it's interesting, and you know, much like as expected, Eric says that the workrooms works great. It's interesting that you know, watching their OC Connect stream in venues is not that great of an experience. Like,
Mm.
yeah, you'd think that if it didn't work, then they just wouldn't do it, but I guess not.
Yeah, absolutely. Mash Daddy says he's driving. Drive safely, sir. We need to save our marriage later. Yeah,
There you go.
we're going back into It Takes Two.
You know who else needs to save their marriage, Roots?
My mom!
Yeah, she does, especially with the things she's been doing lately.
Yeah, I know. Headline: FTC sues Facebook over alleged monopolization. So this actually is interesting, Roots. This is actually a renewal of an old case. The FTC brought a antitrust suit against Facebook last few months, or maybe even last year, and it got tossed out due to a lack of evidence to support their claims. FTC has refiled this and claims to have new evidence now. And while Oculus isn't specifically named in this suit, it's more focused on their social media exploits. They do mention the metaverse,
Ooh.
and they assume that Facebook is going to extend its anti-competitive practices into the foundation of the metaverse as well, as it becomes a thing over the next few years.
Yeah.
So I'm not so sure anything's going to come out of this, but it's certainly something to watch, and it's something that could have a profound impact on our space going forward, even if it isn't mentioned explicitly in the case itself.
Oh, wow. Maybe I should get a Valve 2 Index.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by what people are saying, that thing's going to have electronic varifocal in it. So if it does, then
game changer.
I mean, yeah, big time game changer. Although person's been going on in our Discord for a while now about how you can't do varifocal because it always has moving parts, which isn't true. Half Dome 1 and 2 had moving parts, but Half Dome 3 doesn't. And I guess he just missed that one, because when this Valve thing came out, he came in and was like, well, I stand corrected. Apparently you can do varifocal without moving parts. Valve's doing it in this patent. And I linked him up to the OC Connect 2019, where Facebook got on stage and was telling people that they had already accomplished this. So this tech has to be semi close to coming to market, and I mean, in terms of quality, I don't know if it's able to be mass produced at a at an affordable price. But I think in terms of quality, they've had a working prototype for years at this point. I got to imagine it's close to ready for the public. And if they can do this affordably, I mean, what better way to one up the competition next year as the new headsets come out? Sony's not talking about varifocal, nor is Apple. So I think Facebook and Valve can kind of do something different. And believe you me, friends, if you don't think this is a game changer, wait till you see the difference this is going to make in terms of realism and immersion. If they bring this thing to market, it's going to be a for real game changer.
Yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room for Mash's Facebook group and anybody that moderates it, like myself. There's no more of these, like, okay, so Wes, this is how weird things get. God forbid you're in the group, right? And you say, hey, I want to show a picture of my daughter playing VR because she's really enjoying it. Or you say, hey, what game should my 10-year-old daughter get? Or 12-year, whatever age she is. people will just come out of the woodwork like crazy, start freaking out. It's going to mess up kids' eyes. The doctors say it's under 10, it's over, whatever. And so much so that that's like a rule. You can't do that in the group. No unsolicited advice about kids. And now we can just tell them to finally shut up. Their varifocal lenses are taking care of it. It's not going to mess their eyes up anymore. It's for every age. If you want to put your 3-year-old in there, you might break their the headset. So.
Right, because it's that vergence accommodation is they what they're worried about when it comes to children in VR. Children's eyes, and it's not so much their eyes developing as it is the neural pathways between their eyes and their brain. And they're afraid that if children spend too much time in VR, that that vergence accommodation or the lack thereof is going to kind of rewire kids' brains and cause them cognitive disability going forward. Which is why we've always been very careful about letting our children use VR when they were younger than 12, as my youngest one still is. That they don't get to just pick it up and go whenever they want. It's literally like an hour every other week. You know what I mean? Very few and far between the instances, and then you get it once a week at 12, and then now my daughter can just pick it up at 14 whenever she wants. But it's a legitimate concern. But you're right. People fail to understand that my kids are my kids and not theirs, and they do get downright rude. I have seen some of these instances on Facebook where you ask just the simplest question: what kind of a game would be good for a 10-year-old, and then all of a sudden you've got an angry mob with pitchforks coming at you because they're so concerned about you and your kid. So yeah, they can F off, and it'll be nice when we do have this varifocal and these concerns are a thing of the past.
Yeah, and just gonna be so good, man. It's just gonna be so much more realistic, right? I think it's just gonna add it's gonna make it should make the 3D even better, I would imagine, but I don't know how that works. So.
Ash Daddy Cool says people spout garbage information with no facts. Well, the good thing is, Eric, is that that's not going to be the case on Facebook very much longer, because now they're going to jump in and let people know when they're getting this garbage information, and maybe just remove it altogether. So thank you, Big Brother.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching out for us.
You know what we need? We need something like it on a Facebook post that just like puts a fact check or so. Oh wait, that's already there too. Never mind. Facebook is right on it. I'll tell you.
Somebody needs to establish a bot that constantly bombards Facebook with what it would consider misinformation. Just tons and tons of people running these programs on their computers, flooding Facebook with exactly what they don't want on there, just to see if we can cause the algorithm to explode.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
PD in the chat says, you know who else can F off?
My mom!
Oh, man. I don't know about that. I feel bad about that one.
Traveling Man 3775. It's Karens and Kens who look for something to fight about. Classic narcissism. Good call. Spot on. Way to go, brother.
Whatever happened to the old adage, if you're not hurting anybody else, it's okay. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. Be nice and don't hurt anybody.
There you go. Exactly. Anyway, headline: closed PlayStation developer was working on PSVR exclusive helicopter game. So I'd like to call your attention back to an older story, something we covered last year, I think it was, when Sony Manchester got shut down. And we knew at the time that Sony Manchester was a PSVR studio, that their only game that they've ever been tasked to make was a yet to be released PlayStation VR exclusive. At the time, people were heralding this move as the death of PSVR. Obviously, Sony's just closing down all of their studios that were working on VR because they have no future plans for VR, right?
Right.
Well, we're coming to find out this week that was not the case at all. Apparently, this Sony Manchester studio had been open for nearly 5 years, working on the same game, which was a helicopter-based search and rescue mission type game with combat. Um, Apparently, according to eyewitness reports from people that work there, uh, people from mid management in the Sony command chain started meddling in the development process about a year or two into the development and totally turning the plan on their head, making them repeatedly start over from scratch with different things, add things in the game that didn't make sense. Basically, they uh, thwarted any kind of progress with this game and made it impossible to develop. And then when the change in leadership happened at Sony this last year, and they started restructuring the company a bit, they tried to cut the fat. And looking at this studio here, which had had millions of dollars poured into it, uh, perpetual help wanted ads out, hiring people into it, and nothing to show for it. Sony simply just wanted to cut the fat, and most of the people there don't blame the office for closing that studio, but they do blame the office for meddling and not allowing them to make the kind of progress that should have come over that period of time with that kind of funding.
Yeah, crazy how much money's wasted. Don't have a game, and they kind of partially created it themselves, right? So
So there's just some interesting tidbits of information there. Um, I never thought that Sony was pulling the plug on VR, but that's how this story was reported last year. So it's interesting to know now what actually happened there, and it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if this PSVR game. Obviously, they had to have something to show for their 5 years of work. It makes you wonder if Sony's going to take this progress to another, or this their progress to another studio and have them finish it out, or if it's just a dead project.
I don't know. That's a good question because I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but the whole premise behind that game doesn't sound that intriguing to me. But I've never seen any footage or any gameplay. It could be amazing. I just never really fancied playing a rescue game in a helicopter in VR.
It sounds like something that could be cool in VR. I don't think it would work at all as a flat game, but
Mm.
apparently, it's kind of like it's a combat situation. It's like a military style helicopter game where you're actually, you're fighting off enemies, shooting from the cockpit, trying to clear away and get to rescue these people in different situations. Where I guess they're in these remote locations that are inaccessible by any other means other than helicopter. Uh, I have no doubt it would have been good being a Sony first party title. How many stinkers have we gotten from Sony first party studios? Not very many. Um, so I don't know. While I agree, it isn't the most intriguing concept when you just think about helicopters. I never knew that I wanted to fly a helicopter in VR, right? But I have no doubt it would have been a good game, at least a good VR game.
Yeah, cool.
Headline: The Persistence Patch update on Steam features DLSS version 2.2 and VR headset fixes. The Persistence Enhanced released about a month ago, maybe a little bit more, onto Steam and PS5 for that matter. And the PC version included new features for the VR version, including NVIDIA DLSS and ray tracing. I subsequently went in the early days of this update. I pulled the old G2 out, went into the Persistence, and experienced some performance issues. There was intermittent stutter when I was moving. It wasn't game breaking; it was playable, but it was enough to make me not want to play. So I decided that there was jank that they would need to work out, and I just decided to put the game down for a little while until it got a fix. Well, apparently, Roots, the fix is in, because a lot of the issues that I was having, they named specifically in their patch notes here. And furthermore, they update to the newest version of NVIDIA DLSS. So very excited for this. The Persistence, one of my favorite games in VR. And if they finally got these new features running smoothly, that's going to be amazing on my G2.
Oh, wow. So you're going to be playing it. You're going to play through the full game? Do it.
Yeah, actually. I'm at least going to stream it. People need to know about this game. A lot of people write this game off immediately when they hear that it's a gamepad only game. And that's a big mistake with this one. This is probably Hitman's probably the only other. Well, I mean, Hitman's probably the best iteration of a gamepad used in VR, but I think the Persistence is probably a strong second. Where it's not a track gamepad in Persistence; it's just a basic gamepad. But you do have hand presence, and after you get used to the controls, you really don't think about it. Like the control scheme is so well done, and the animations with your arms and hands, um, it's very immersive.
It is really good. And you know what? I think if people think about it, they would really, if they're open to the controller at all, there's a lot more out there. Edge of Nowhere is another one that when you're playing it, you're not thinking about, oh, I'm using a controller. It's just so good that you get immersed into it. And I just think limiting yourself to hand presence. Hand presence is awesome, but there's so many good games. I guess another one is RE7. I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. So
Absolutely. Speaking of Edge of Nowhere, how cool would it be if they had like a Edge of Nowhere remastered for PS5 VR?
oh, that'd be so good with the new haptics. All right, so the new haptics are going to be in the new controllers. Man, I can't wait, dude, because the haptics in all these new games are so amazing in that controller, and I don't think people that haven't tried it realize being able to feel the tension of a bow inside a controller is amazing to me.
It's interesting that you bring that up because it highlights possibilities for the Persistence specifically because that is not a tracked gamepad game. That's a good example of a game if they wanted to that they could support DualSense for the VR version because again it doesn't need to be tracked, and then they could add in some advanced haptics if Sony would allow them to do that. That could be a very good, easy way to ratchet up the immersion in an already very immersive game.
Yeah, absolutely. PD's talking about G Police, VR G Police would be amazing. I don't know if you've ever heard of G Police, but apparently he's really digging it. I've never tried it.
I have no idea. Yeah, me either.
I'll have to look it out for you. Okay.
Onakazi asks, who owns that IP? Insomniac, or did Oculus pay them to make it? I'm sure Oculus did fund it, and Stormland as well. But I don't know who owns the IP. Just because Oculus helped fund the game doesn't mean that they necessarily secured ownership rights to the IP. We've seen this with Sony-funded games, which have made their way over to PC and Oculus specifically. So I don't know. It would be interesting. That's a question that we have yet to have answered. Is it possible that we could see sequels to Edge of Nowhere and Stormland on PlayStation 5? Because it was notable that when Sony purchased Insomniac, that they did purchase the rights to their back catalog of intellectual property as well. So as long as Oculus didn't lock that stuff up by contract, the possibility remains that we could see sequels to Oculus exclusives on Sony, on PlayStation, or dedicated PSVR versions of these games. We don't know yet. Only time will tell.
I'm excited. Space Citizen says Persistence already has DualSense support on PS5.
Does Persistence have DualSense support for
haptic triggers? And I probably not.
For playing Persistence in VR and backwards compatibility mode. See, that's the question. I know that the PS5 version supports it, I'm talking about in VR. That's what I want. I want to be able to play Persistence in my PlayStation VR with my DualSense. That's the question. Can it do that?
Should I feel dirty? Because I booted up Persistence the other day, flat on my PlayStation 5 because it was in my library.
And how was your experience having played it in VR before, now playing it flat?
I didn't play that long and turned it off. I went to something else. I was like, I need to play this in VR. I can play it on my PC in VR. So
there you go. With the LSS and ray tracing, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Space Innocent says yes in VR per God Cannon stream. So AJ actually tried it and it worked. Oh shit, it is on, my friend.
On
That's
like Donkey
awesome.
Kong. Yeah.
Because that game already had amazing haptics with the DualShock 4. I specifically remember your footsteps reverberating through the DS4 controller as you walk in that game. So I can only imagine how much more immersive it would be with DualSense in it. That's crazy. That's awesome, and we're going to definitely try it out.
Awesome.
Anyway, moving on. Headline: Unreal Engine gets open XR improvements just in time for the Oculus developmental shift. So as we know, Oculus recently abandoned their own API in favor of Open XR. And apparently, we now have a Unreal Engine with being updated for OpenXR. And not only that, but apparently we're receiving word now that Unreal Engine 5 is ready for consumers as well. So this is going to be rolled out in games in the very near future. And it's nice to see this unity in Unreal Engine, for lack of a better term. But unity specifically with regards to VR and the Open XR system. So really the only question now is PlayStation VR. Is PlayStation going to somehow implement some kind of a support for this? I don't think it's necessary for them to do that, but it might help them with regards to multi-platform VR releases in the future.
Yeah. Think about how good our indie games are about to start getting, right, in the next couple of years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's going to be so much easier for these developers now to just kind of develop multi-platform releases all at the same time because of this industry-wide adoption of OpenXR.
Yeah.
I don't fully understand it and how it works, but according to people that do, this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Paradise Decay says, Roots, I don't know if you have it in your news, but Quake Remastered can be played in VR with the Quake VR mode. No, we have not covered that this week. I did see your video though, PD, and yeah, I mean that's cool, right? Especially for fans of Quake.
Well, Scion's a big fan of Quake. I wonder if he's going to be going into that. I thought he was a fan of Quake.
I think Scion's going to be doing nothing but playing Myst for the next month.
Oh, dude, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be playing nothing but Myst for the next month, but I was looking at some of the graphics for this new one, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing the game.
Yeah, definitely. More on that in a few minutes. I put Myst in the lineup today, thinking for sure that we would be able to snag Scion into the chat, but from the looks of it, no thumbs down, no
no thumbs down. Yeah, that's true.
No snarky comments. Apparently, Scion didn't get the message, right?
Myst. He's ready to play. He's probably doing a preload.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's coming up very soon, and again, we'll be talking more on that in a little bit.
Yep.
Headline: Developer brings Half-Life Alyx's City 17 to Oculus Quest. So apparently now, Roots, and I have not tried this out, but apparently you can set your Oculus Quest home now to be City 17 in the same way that you can in Steam VR, only albeit a different looking scene. Certainly something cool to play around with in your Quest, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if anybody does that. Do you have a home for your Quest? I don't even. You know what I mean? How you can turn it off. I never look at the home. I just go straight to my games. I don't roam around and sit in there. But I guess maybe I would if I had
Uh,
Half-Life Alyx's City 17.
it's not the same kind of home that Rift has that you can move around through. It's just more of an environment, right? That it's there to look at. But I have played around with it a little bit. Oculus offers like 6 or 8 different environments that you can load in there, and they're really cool looking. I have played around with it, and it's nice, especially if you use the side loading to up the resolution. It's really cool looking.
Mash says Scion's too busy out buying his 128 gigabyte Quest 2. I think you're right, sir.
You nailed it, bro. Decepticon said, "I've made this my home, and it looks solid."
Well, I know.
Oh,
go ahead.
He says he also has the Simpsons house and Silent Hill as well.
For Quest? I know they got those for Steam. I went around the Simpsons one, and you can actually drive a car around and stuff. And that's what's kind of cool about the Steam ones is it's like interactive, and they have things you can do sometimes, right?
Decepticon says SideQuest has a bunch to choose from.
See, I don't do side quests. That's the thing. And I guess because I came from PCVR, it's like anything that SideQuest can do, PCVR can do better, and any of that type of stuff. Because but if I only had the Quest, and the side quest is that version of all that stuff, right? All the mods and stuff.
Yeah, I think they need SideQuest needs to develop a specialized app for the Quest itself that has all the necessary permissions needed for, so when you have dev mode enabled, that you can do all the side quest stuff from inside the headset. I know this is technically possible. They need to be working on it. If their platform is going to survive, they need to they need to take side loading out of the equation as much as possible, because your common consumers are not going to do that anymore. People were doing it before so that they could get virtual desktop. They don't need to do that anymore. So, and most of the games are coming to App Lab now. So SideQuest needs to evolve with the times, or they're going to be forgotten. I use it on a rare occasion to implement settings into my Quest, but that's all I use it for anymore. I never go to browse games anymore or anything like I used to.
Yeah, and if you could do the settings from within your headset, you wouldn't never go to it. You know what I mean? So like they need to do something, like you said. Mepper saying Costco always had a good supply of Quest, but they did the recall and now they haven't supplied. When did they put the new ones out? Just recently? I mean, I'm sure they'll put them back out.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago they did this recall, and I think this week, within the next week, they're going to roll out the new version. So I would look for Costco to restock very soon.
Now, this whole time you could still get the 256, right?
That's true. Well,
Okay.
no, I don't know because no, I don't think so. The reason why they were being recalled was because of the facial
interface. Okay.
Yeah. So I haven't seen any at Walmart. Like I still check every time I go in there, and there haven't been any there for a few weeks.
Yeah, makes me wonder what could have happened to make them recall everything. Like, because they sold those facial interfaces for this whole time, no big deal. And then all of a sudden,
I'll tell you what happened. They were in a thing with the federal government, and the federal government. This is what happened, man. They shot themselves in the foot. Some people were complaining about irritation from the facial interface. So what they did was they did overkill. They let people get a free VR cover by complaining. So now everybody and their brother goes to Facebook and says, "I'm having irritation," so that they could get their free VR cover kit. Right? I mean, you saw it in our Discord. You saw it everywhere. People were exploiting the hell out of this. And so now you're the federal government. You're looking at Facebook getting all these millions of complaints about this facial interface. So they were required to recall this stuff because of that. I bet you, had they not been, you know, so great about replacing these interfaces with high quality stuff from VR cover that this would have never gotten to the point that it's at now, where they're actually having to pull headsets off the shelf.
You think people exploited it? No, I'm just kidding.
I know they did. I know personally many people who exploit it. I didn't.
I didn't either. I got my one before like they even did anything, and I got another headset after I sold mine, and I kept mine. I could have got another one. I was like, why? You know what I mean? I already have it. So
a little weird about it. Not that I'm above doing something like that. But you got to consider that I have a bit of a history with Facebook tech support. Like I had problems with my CV1, and they were great about replacing it with a freshie. Not only that, I've had problems with my strap. They sent me another one out right away, and then when they gave out Asgard's Wrath to people who were new buyers, I contacted them over that as well and got a copy of that. So I have a history with Oculus tech support, and they've always been great. They've always went above and beyond with remedying my problem, and I didn't feel right about exploiting that. Now, I don't begrudge anyone who did. Again, I'm not above taking advantage of these kinds of situations, especially when you're dealing with these evil mega corporations. Man, rob them blind for all I'm concerned. But with me being in the position that I'm in, with a very well documented history with Facebook tech support, I didn't want to go back to the well again and be the guy that cried wolf.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my excuse is I was going to do it, and I heard Anthony say karma, and I was like, ooh, maybe I'm not, in my mind. And Mash Daddy says it was an easy reason to recall all 64 gigs and not take any heat for it. When they come back into stock, they can just restock with the 128 gigs. Do you think they'll take those 64 gigs that don't sell, if there were any? Because I'm sure they were selling them out and just let until a certain point and then called them out. But maybe go in and just change that hard drive or that drive out, because otherwise you have all these units just sitting there, right?
It depends on how it's mounted into the thing. I mean, if it's a circuit board component, I don't know. I don't know what that would entail, having to remove it. But if it's something that plugs in, absolutely, I think it would be easy, an easy fix for them, and a way to avoid losing millions of dollars in hardware.
Yeah.
That said, I would watch reseller outlets, these people who get pallets and things and sell on Facebook or eBay. We very well could soon see an influx of 64 gigabyte Oculus Quest 2s into the market.
200, maybe $200. That'd be cool.
Person says, I pre-ordered a VR cover before I got my Quest, and Facebook canceled it for some unknown reason, so I didn't feel bad. Well, there you go. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't begrudge anyone who took advantage of this. I've done similar things myself. Take them for all they're worth.
Yeah.
They're taking your data. The least you should get out of it is a VR cover, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's not going to make them go under either. And if that's what makes them go under, they were going under anyway.
Onakazi said, I could see them maybe doing a sale on their website like they did with the CV1 refurbs. It's a good point. Selling for $200, I bet they'll go like hotcakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mepper says, often they do surface mounting soldering because it's cheaper. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I'm assuming here is the case as well. I used to work at electronics assembly plant that worked on circuit boards and stuff like that. So you're right. Most of the time, this stuff is just mounted right in there. Because, I mean, these things aren't meant to be modular anyway. They weren't meant to have the drive ever changed on them. So I would imagine it's probably just burnt right into the board.
Yeah, that's true.
Headline, Hellsweeper VR, Steam page is up. So this is the next project from Mixed Realms, the developer behind Cyrento VR. This is a fast-paced arcade action game where you're battling demons from hell roots, and apparently it has a very similar movement scheme to that which is used in Cyrento. So, highly anticipated title here. People wondering when it was going to show up on the store. Well, wonder no more, friends. It is up now.
Yeah, looks amazing, and I can't wait
It
for it to
does.
comes out. So
Yeah, I'm more excited for it now, having played Everslot. Everslot's so good, and it's very similar style of game to this. Uh, Everslot makes me more excited for Hellsweeper.
yeah, because you're getting Everslot with the movement of Cyrento, right? Jumping around, flipping, and all that crap. It's gonna be amazing.
And a lot of the issues that we had with Everslot, I imagine, isn't going to be the case with this bigger studio, right? Because Everslot comes from a very small studio. Um, and while Cyrento by no means is a big AAA deal or anything, it's certainly a bigger studio than the guys that brought us Everslot. So I got to imagine a lot of these, immersion breakers that we got from Everslot, which by the way, I'm sure they're going to end up patching all that stuff out. But I bet it's not going to be the case here with Hellsweeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Derail says this game is making him moist. You know who else likes to be moist, Wes?
My mom.
Oh yeah, she does.
Absolutely. She can't help it.
She can't help it.
Headline: VR spellcaster Stones of Harleth hits PC with new content. So we've covered this a couple of times now. Stones of Harleth coming to the Rift store as well as Steam VR, and apparently it has now landed. And along with it, the Arenas update, bringing all new arena-based gameplay mode. I think they said, like, and this is me going by memory. I think there was 4 different arenas with new enemies and mini bosses and a main boss fight at the end of it. Again, $10.
Wow, dude. You know what's funny is you just got me moist and excited. I'm downloading it now because I loved it on the Quest, but man, I want to play it. That's why kind of one of the reasons why I stopped playing it, if I'm being honest, because I knew there was possibility it was going to be cross-buy, and I think the Quest version is amazing, but I want to see and play on the Rift because I have a PC VR, right? So now I'm excited, Wes.
Awesome. Well, we don't have to wait any longer. This update and subsequent PC launch is live now.
Nice.
Headline: Bloodborne first person mod looks perfect for VR. So apparently, Bloodborne is a popular game, Roots. But I mean, this thing pops up in the gaming news every other month. Rumors of a remaster, mods to the original. Apparently, there's a very popular mod out now which allows you to play Bloodborne in first person on your PC. And this article that we're looking at here is basically just a plea from the people at Upload VR saying, please, someone, please put this in VR. It has everything it needs now from a perspective standpoint. Let's get this thing playable in VR. What do you think?
Talk to Luke Ross, man. He's always asking for people to say, hey, what's the next thing we want to make? I think this would be amazing. I also think you're fucking crazy in a sense. I would still play it. It's amazing. The game is hard as hell already, and it's the easiest of the Dark Souls out there. When it's third person, I can only imagine what playing this type of a game, but it would be amazing for those people like Derail or my friend Josh that are just that's their jam. They play this melee game and they go through these Dark Soul games like they're nothing, and they're just tearing them up. Now getting to play it in VR in a first person, oh my god, that'd be a dream come true.
Yeah, man. And somebody's going to do it, right? Generally, that's how it works. Ask and ye shall receive. Except Bioshock. For some reason, no one's came through with the proper Bioshock mod yet. But generally, when we want one of these games to get modded in, it does. So I will, be on the lookout. It's not going to be surprising in the least if we see this in the next 6 months sometime.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Luke Ross Roots, have they got the update, the fix for Red Dead yet?
They didn't the last time I checked. I checked like I think last week. So this is my conundrum. So I had stopped it. You know, once my PC was not working, I'm like, I can't use it. Right? What's the point? So I didn't stop the Patreon, but I'm ready to do it again. But I'm waiting to see that the fix is fixed. And now I'm so far to the end of the month, and this is the way Patreon works. You know, if you do it on August 31st, it's going to charge you again on September 1st. You get a day for that $10 or whatever it is. So now I'm kind of waiting, unless I go and I see, oh, hey, it's fixed, like right now, with the DLSS. I'm probably gonna wait till September 1st to renew my Patreon. But the last time I checked, it was not necessarily fixed. They had a workaround, but he's still working on it.
I'm pretty sure it still works in Vortex. So maybe those of you who just don't want to wait on Luke Ross to get it all ironed out, maybe give it a shot in Vortex, because Vortex did recently receive an update for these Rockstar games that apparently makes them work quite well.
I'll have to take a look. I like I said, the Luke Ross mod was so good, it felt native to me, and I haven't ever experienced a Vortex game that feels native. I've experienced one that feels close, but nothing that's like, oh my god, I feel like I'm in a native VR game. But it'll be interesting to maybe try. So
All right, headline. Upload. I'm sorry, what I put Upload VR on there. Winlands surprise launches on App Lab. So the original VR grappling game, Roots Winlands, has now made its way to the Oculus Quest platform. Apparently, though, not good enough for the Quest store, bro. You got to go to App Lab.
that's crazy, man. People are saying in the Discord that Winlands 1 is better than Winlands 2 in a lot of ways. Maybe you don't have the multiplayer, you don't have the fighting, but as far as a swinging around and as a puzzler, they're saying it's better. So that's bizarre to me.
Well, we're going to find out, Roots, because shout out SciTech Games, shout out John, who reached out to me on Twitter last week with the key. So I'm going to claim the key he sent to me on our show account, and we're going to check it out firsthand.
Nice.
And I've never played the first Windlands. I love Windlands too. I thought it was amazing. But the Windlands one's supposed to be much more challenging, which is what I like to hear. I like challenging platforming in VR. Apparently, if you like Jupiter God, you're going to like Windlands 1, and we're going to check it out. We're going to report back.
That sounds good. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. So, big thank you to SciTech Games. Big thank you to John for being such a cool dude.
Cool.
Final headline this week. VR studio behind movie tie-in games aims to kickstart original IP with a $2 million investment round. So XR Games, the studio who brought us Angry Birds. What was the name of the Angry Birds couch co-op game? Angry Birds. It was a movie tie-in game. I forget what the name of the movie was. But also, they also brought us Zombieland, Headshot Fever. They now have received a $2 million investment, which they are going to put to good use in developing their own brand new IP for VR. It's good to see good developers and good studios get rewarded for their hard work. I'm going to be very interested to see what they come up with regards to their original IP.
Yeah, I love to see people get rewarded for their hard work, because that means we're going to get another good game, and I can't wait.
Yeah, person in the chat said I enjoyed Windlands 1 better than 2 personally. So he says it's more platforming. So there you go.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people say that.
yeah, I think it might have been your comments, person that I was talking about in the Discord, that you was saying that, if I'm not mistaken. But it definitely is something I want. I own it, Wes, on Steam, but I've never been into Windlands 1. Just for whatever reason, I just never went in. So now I can try it on the Quest.
Yeah, I've got it on Steam as well. But I got to imagine that you're going to be wanting to play this standing and tetherless.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, obviously you could you could tether wirelessly to your computer and play it that way, or you can play the standalone version. I have no doubt that
Could do both.
the Quest 2 is capable of running this game in its full original state. I don't think they had to cut any corners to get this thing on Quest.
Yeah, absolutely. Wolveraza says if it had guns like Swarm, I'd be all over it. I will play it eventually when it's on Viport, or he said eventually there is one in Viport, I think. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a great game to try eventually, and or you can try it now. Swarm is a different type of game with the guns as well, also amazing.
Yeah.
But this is more like a platform puzzler, where you're like looking at these things and you're trying to figure out how you're going to get up there, and you got to swing up there a certain way, right? People say it's really difficult, so I'm looking forward to it.
You know who loves to swing, Roots?
My mom!
Oh yeah, man, too much actually.
Anyway, XR Games did an amazing work with Zombieland Headshot Fever. I'm very surprised at how good that game actually turned out to be. So it's interesting to see if they're going to stick with the arcade style stuff going forward with their original IP, or if they're going to pivot into maybe more of a simulation type VR game. Only time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's going to wrap up headlines and segue nicely into our first game of this week's gaming segment, Zombieland Headshot Fever. XR Games has announced the Summer Blockbuster Update, which is the second major content update to hit Zombieland Headshot Fever this year. It was only 2 months ago when this arcade-style on-rail zombie shooter received a graphical overhaul, 2 remixed extended cut levels, as well as an all-new level as a part of the game's Kingpin update. This latest update adds 4 more extended cut levels to the game's already substantial level set, bringing the game's total count to 16 levels. Update 1.5 also brings with it new gun skins, new tweaks to the Z Hunter revolver and to both submachine guns, and even a new zombie type, the Clown Zombie. The update also includes a number of minor tweaks and bug fixes which add to the game's overall shine. Zombieland Headshot Fever is available now for Oculus Quest, Rift, and Steam VR headsets, with a PlayStation VR release coming soon. So I don't know how this got by me, Roots. Like the one thing that really, earlier this year, I participated in their community event, their competition, if you will, speed running some of these levels. And after that whole thing, and after I was done with it, the one thing I was really adamant about is how awesome it would be to get more levels. And the developers at the time alluded to there being more on the way. And somehow, apparently, the game was updated 2 months ago, and it went right over my head. I didn't even catch it at all, didn't know. Now we're getting another content update with even more levels, and now I see it. Now I know I can see all of the updates that they put into this game, and I think it's time, Roots. I think it's time to revisit Zombieland Headshot Fever.
I agree. Wolveraza says F clowns. He is not all about the clown in there. That's what makes it that much better, Wolveraza. Just don't let him get to you, and you're good. But yeah, I'm excited, man. This game was like a sleeper game that we weren't expecting to be as good as it was, right? And you even went into all those hours of training to become the expert crack shot that you are at this game. And
my 1 hour of training, and that talk about a regret. Like I should have put more time into that, because I almost did it with my limited amount of time I put into it.
Yeah, well, you got a show to make, and kids to raise, and a job to do, and a wife to please, and got life. Yeah, absolutely. Well, this game was already a no-brainer to buy before, and now they just made it significantly a no-brainer with both of their updates. The last one that we missed, and then this one as well. So,
yeah, notably, one of the things that surprised me the most, having played this one standalone on the Quest, was just how good the game looked. Because I don't know if you remember, but when they initially launched their reveal trailer, we were literally laughing at it, like on our show, at how dated it looked, and we couldn't believe that somebody would be making a game like this in 2021. Uh, get into the headset and realize we're completely off base. Not only is it totally fun to play, but it's a very good looking game on the Quest 2 headset. Well, come to find out, the update that they put out 2 months ago, the Kingpin update, not only did it have a brand new all original level, which takes place at a bowling alley, I think, um, 2 more extended cut levels, but it also has a complete graphical overhaul and Quest 2 enhancements that were added in at that point. So this is going to be a very different experience now, going revisiting this game than it was to begin with, and it was great to begin with.
Yeah, it was already really good, and now it's going to be even better. So that's cool. Definitely can't wait to try it out.
So you want to go to the bowling alley and take on some clowns?
Yeah,
Clown
well,
zombies?
I'm hoping I see Randy Quaid from Kingpin. This is the Kingpin update. Woody Harrelson is a character. I mean, maybe, but probably not. But yeah, I definitely all about new levels, and definitely about playing this game. It's definitely cool.
20 degrees of Randy Quaid, huh?
That's right. It's already here.
Anyway, shout out to XR Games. Big thank you to them for supporting us. Even if it was through our boy GT, who was in the chat earlier. So thanks, GT. Thank you, XR Games. I look forward to checking out this update. And if you guys want to stream, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. I've already got a lineup, probably my next 4 or 5 games that I'm going to stream planned out. But beyond that, we're looking to add more titles. If this is one you're interested in, let us know in the comments down below.
You know what's funny, Wes, about people and graphics and everything, and it's I get it, it's VR or whatever, but like the gameplay is so important. That's what this game nails, and the graphics are actually better and good in the headset, which we already said. But like I think about games like Hades, which right now on the PS5 they say is the #1 rated game out there for PlayStation 5 flat game, right? But it's an indie game. And like why is VR different that you can't have an amazing indie game that looks indie but has amazing gameplay and amazing mechanics, and it can be amazing, right? You're still in the game, it still looks amazing. It may not, you know what I mean? I feel like there's this disconnect. Everybody wants these fancy flashy graphics instead of the gameplay loop or the mechanics. This has got both. So I don't know, it's just a weird time in VR, I think.
It makes me think back to Vengeful Rights, which we covered this past week on the virtual show. It's a perfect example of this, a very indie game that looks like an indie game, but it also at the same time looks quite good, and the gameplay in that game is fantastic. So anybody who's taking a look at that cartoony art style and noping out from it is going to miss out.
Yeah, they're missing out on a lot of games.
And shout out to the developers of Vengeful Rights. And my apologies, I described them during our coverage as a dude, a team of one. It's not a dude; it was 2 dudes, actually, brothers, twins. So actually, there's 2 of them.
So do you think that when they watched the coverage, they looked at each other and they were like, "I'm the dude." No, I'm the dude. Yeah, there's only one dude, bro.
Oh no, they were on there quick, bro. Like immediately after the stream was over, I went back in, as I often do, to quality check, make sure everything looked and sounded right. And like as soon as I went back in, the comment was already up. Like, thank you for covering our game. By the way, there's 2 of us.
You son of a bitch. There's 2 of us. Well, we apologize. We love your game.
Yeah. And that's another one that's on my list to stream because I think people need to know about this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, moving on to our next topic of the week, Myst. There might not be another puzzler that's more iconic than Cyan World's classic Myst. First released in 1994, the game has seen numerous iterations over the years, And this past year, the game made its way to an entirely new medium, virtual reality. Myst made its VR debut on Facebook's white-hot standalone device Oculus Quest to a torrent of overwhelmingly positive reviews. And as great as it was to visit Myst's iconic realms in person, the limited graphical capability of the standalone device left the game's most faithful in want of something more. It was at this time that Cyan World answered the call by announcing that Myst would also be coming to PC VR and that this version would pull no punches when it comes to graphical fidelity. Then we waited. Now, some 9 months later, after the game's debut on Oculus Quest Store, the wait is finally coming to an end. Myst is coming to PC VR this week on August 26th for $30. And for those of you who purchased the game on Oculus Quest, you will not need to buy it again, as the game has been confirmed to support cross-buy. This new version of the puzzle classic has been completely redesigned for modern gaming systems using Unreal Engine, featuring new art, sound, interactions, and even optional puzzle randomization. While the 2021 edition of Myst looks and sounds better than ever, the game still retains all the original areas and challenges that fans know and love. The Steam edition will support both 2D and VR, so players can dive in for the fully immersive version, which can be played on Valve Index, HTC Vive, or Oculus Rift, or they could keep things simple, playing in 2D on their flat screen. So the day is here. The time is at hand, Roots. Myst coming to PC VR. And judging by the footage that we have seen of this, it's going to make a difference having a full-fledged PC graphics card to render this world out for us.
Wow, it's going to be amazing. Scion's going to disappear for a week or two. Now, let me ask you this. I'm torn, Wes. Do I, do I buy the Steam version, because I'm going to get the cross-buy Oculus one for free. But I can't, what if I want to play it flat? No, just kidding. Why would I play this game flat? That's crazy talk, man. This game is you got to be in there enjoying the Myst world, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing this game flat for what, 20 years, 30 years? I mean, do we really need to do more of that?
No.
I don't think so.
No. Wolveraza says puzzle randomization, that S is hard enough. I agree.
I know, right? PD in the chat says, why would you want to play Pancake? Exactly, friend.
Yeah.
And Island Kara says, I love Myst. Is it going to be cross-buy? It is going to be cross-buy. So if you already have it, never fear. You're going to receive the PC version free of charge.
Yeah, this is one other game where I just can't see myself ever playing Quest version. For me, the Quest, I'm always going to go to the PC version for a little bit better fidelity, or a lot better, unless I'm outside of my house. If I'm not here, that's what the Quest 2, that's where it shines. That's why you want the mobile version. So if you're in a hotel room and you can't sleep and someone's in the bed next to you, you can still go in the bathroom and play Myst, right?
Power outages. I mean, there's a number of different scenarios where having standalone VR is very handy.
Yep.
And I'm so happy with my Oculus Quest 2. It's an amazing device, and dude, with the Bobo VR modified with the Mantis PSVR headphones on it, it's a really nice headset now.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Did you play Myst back in the day, Roots?
I did not. My parents, I mean, I guess I kind of did. My parents played it and I kind of helped them or watched, they used to play a lot of those mystery games or these type of games, right? So I did see it and everything, so I was very aware of it. But so I don't have the nostalgia of myself. I played through the full thing. Now let me ask you this: is this PC VR version going to have the notepad or the picture thing or whatever, or do we know?
I would imagine so. And there's been a lot made out of this feature that's coming. This ability to take notes and snapshots in the game. which you are able to do on Oculus Quest, but you have to use the Oculus menu, to take screenshots and hop in and out of the game to look at them. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's still preferable, in my opinion, to actually keeping a notepad in your lap. So it'll be nice to have an option in game that's easy to access.
That'd be cool. Is like a really cool interactive UI menu that like you click into and it surrounds you with all of your pictures or all of your hints, right? Or somehow like kind of that one game where you got teleported to a different room and it had a area that was all your hints and stuff. Now I don't know if you need to
Yeah.
teleport, but something like that would be super cool. And it's something you could only do in VR, right? So
Yeah, you should do that. They should do that. They should make it so that you can light a cigarette and you get teleported magically away to this creepy room
that
with
would
all
be
of your
cool.
hints.
That would be cool, right?
Yeah. Person says hopefully it's more optimized for VR than Abduction.
It will
Abduction,
be.
for what it's worth, Abduction was patched out last year and it runs really well in VR now.
And the Myst version on the PC is not going to run worse than the Quest version. The Quest version ran flawless, so I don't see that it should be running really good.
I'm going to so jack this game up, man. I hope that it supports G2. I know it won't natively at launch, but hopefully it won't take long for controller bindings to be uploaded to the Steam community. Typically, 9 times out of 10 games that don't support G2, it works fine on the headset, and all you have to do is just go to the controller binding setting and download a controller binding, and then everything works perfectly.
Yeah, I'm sure Cyan Games will have it there.
Actually, on second thought, that we're talking about the Rift version, so I'll probably just be able to play it perfectly through Revive with no problem.
Oh, that's true. Revives works really well. So,
Traveling Man 3775 says Myst actually has a Quest Home to have as well. So,
ooh, nice.
There you go. Wolveraza says in VR it will be such a trip. Yeah, dude. Like it was a trip on Oculus Quest, wasn't it, Roots?
Yeah, dude. What's cool? It's just really cool, man. I just seeing this come to life, right? Static images. You're used to the game the way it was when it was the best game out there, and it was you were clicking on images. It's really cool.
Kara says, I hope their next VR game is coming out soon. Now, I echo these sentiments 100%. As excited as I am to get this PC version of Myst, it pales in comparison for my excitement for Firmament, which will be their first built from the ground up for VR game. So, like Abduction and Myst are both adaptations of 2D games. Firmament is going to be a dedicated VR game. And I don't think we're going to get it anytime soon, but I do think that when we finally get it, it's going to be one of the most amazing experiences that we've ever had in VR.
Yeah, absolutely. Decepticon says the last part of Myst is rough. Did you ever get to the last part, Wes? Because I didn't see it, so I don't know how rough it is. But you know who else likes it rough, Wes?
My mom!
No, I didn't finish it on Quest.
What about back in the day? Did you finish it?
Yeah, I think I did way back when. Yeah. I don't remember it. It's a good thing, but I do think I finished the game back in the day.
Cool.
Anyway, looking forward to this one releasing in 4 days? Yeah, so not very long to wait on this one. I'm going to have a few days off work, Roots. What a good way to spend it than playing Myst, fully rendered out in beautiful PC VR.
Yeah, I went into the Room VR the other day, and I had a really good time. So I'm looking forward to this for sure.
And Wolveraza says, "Oh, I really want to see that G2 Myst Blair Witch video really pop." Yeah, we're going to return to Blair Witch this week and finish the game in stream from PlayStation VR. So, like the first half of the game we played through in the stream from PC. Our friends at Bloober Team were kind enough to send me a key to the PlayStation VR version, which it does have PS4 Pro patch on day one and looks really good in the PS5. So after we get caught up to where we left off on the last stream, we're going to return the Blair Witch live on our channel here. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit the button and the bell so that you don't miss out.
So let me ask you this. So this will be your third time you've played through the beginning, right? Because you did it on the Quest, then you did it on the PC. Now you're going to do it on the PlayStation VR. What a trooper.
I'm getting some help this time around.
Oh, I used to get help from my my son on all sorts of stuff. Even when he was grounded, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to let you off grounding for an hour. I need you to level up my Call of Duty guy. I need to get him to level 40. And then I'd sit there and he'd be playing, and then I'd probably not the best thing to admit on air, but it was fun.
Yeah, we're calling the team in on this one to get me back through chapter 8 so I can pick it back up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Absolutely, and I have an ulterior motive as well. I'm going to get them hooked on the game so they want to finish it too.
Yeah.
Techno glitch. Will Myst be cross-buy? Yes, Myst will be cross-buy. 100% confirmed. Which is interesting because we've had multiple confirmations from them now that it's going to support cross-buy, but we really haven't had an announcement that it's coming to the Rift store. Like the only mention we've had of this game coming to the Rift store is that it's going to be cross-buy. That's how we know it's coming to the Rift store. The announcement was that it was coming to Steam VR.
That's weird, huh? There's so much weirdness around everything.
Yeah. Anyway, moving right along, Green Hell VR. Incuvo's Green Hell VR for Oculus Quest and PC VR headsets is looking beautiful from all the screenshots that the studio has released so far. By the way, their Discord, awesome. They release 2 screenshots a week through their Discord, and this game is looking absolutely stunning on Oculus Quest. Originally slated for Q3 this year for the PC edition, with the Oculus Quest version coming in Q4, Incuvo has confirmed this week that both have been delayed until Q1 2022. The studio made the announcement over their Discord channel saying, quote, "Production of Green Hell VR is right on schedule, but we've decided to test and polish the mechanics even further. Our team is very passionate about this project, and we want you to have the best experience possible once Green Hell VR appears on Oculus and Steam VR. This decision gives us a few additional months, which allows us to work on the final form of Green Hell VR. So immersion and environment are extraordinary." So, obviously a bit disappointing, but the news isn't all bad. Incuvo has also announced that they are now actively working on a co-op mode for Green Hell VR. This feature will most likely be available as an update after the initial release, the announcement notes. Green Hell will drop VR players into the Amazon rainforest, challenging them to survive in the harsh jungle environment on their own. They'll start out without any food or equipment, having to learn how to build shelters, make tools, and craft weapons in order to hunt and defend themselves from the local residents. Crocodiles, leopards, and less than friendly natives are just some of the hostiles players will encounter as they forage for food and acquire new resources. Roots, when this game was first announced, my hype level for it was so-so. But as time has gone on and they have shared more and more footage of this game, it's amazing what they're doing, especially with the Quest version. Like, they're doing things on the Quest that we haven't seen yet on the Quest. If the game actually turns out to be to the quality level that these screenshots that they're sharing. My hype level was already starting to grow for this game just because of the graphical fidelity. But now they're adding in co-op. And now I can officially say this game has become something that I actually want to check out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. It looks like it'll be amazing, right? You know, what I'm thinking now, so my first thought was, as you were reading that, I was thinking, man, how cool is you're learning how to survive, right? literally learning how to survive from scratch, how to like cook and kill stuff, and then I started thinking maybe people should be thinking about how to do this in real life first and then go into green hell. But either way, it seems like it's really deep, and that's my biggest gripe these days with games is I just want depth to it, and it looks like it's going to have a lot of it. So I am also excited.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to the survival scenarios, that VR gamers are going to be more well equipped to deal with reality than your average person, just based on not only skills that we picked up, like aiming down sights and reloading under pressure, but I mean some of these games are friggin' intense, and you develop a skill in itself in just being able to thrive in a chaotic environment.
Yeah.
And I feel like that if the shit ever does really hit the fan in real life, that we're going to be a little more well versed in dealing with it than your average citizen.
Yeah. We're just used to being in it, so I'm looking through the window, right? So
Yeah, I mean these games, even these survival games, uh, you know, I mean, to us lifelong gamers, a lot of this stuff seems like no brainers, but it trains you in the sort of things that you should be thinking about in a survival scenario:
true.
food, water, shelter. Your average person is going to be a fish out of water if they're ever put into one of these scenarios. Whereas we, as gamers, and especially VR gamers, have time and time again been put in these problem solving situations where whether we know it or not, we're learning how to deal with these situations, even if the real life application of how to deal with these problems is going to be vastly different than the game. Obviously, we do have some context and some development of logic, if you will, with regards to these scenarios.
Yeah, absolutely. And when the co-op drops, Island Kara says it could be a good money show episode. I see me setting Wes on fire all over again. That sounds so fun. If you Island Care, if you haven't seen it, we did a show of the forest, a video, right? It's been a while. It's like a year and a half ago now, maybe. Where I was stealing Wes's food and I was catching him on fire, and it was actually we caught ourselves on fire. Really, it was so much fun. It was crazy.
Yeah, VR Spry Guy says I enjoyed when Wes and Ruuts played the forest. So yeah, Island Car. If you haven't seen it yet, go back through our archives, and there's about an hour long video out there of us playing a game that's very similar to this, um, and it's humorous. So you might want to check it out.
Yeah, it was fun.
D-Rail says, "Hell yeah, I can chase people around in real life naked with a rock." There you go.
Let's do it. Yeah, you know what's funny is that you do that today, people look at you sideways. You do that when the apocalypse is hitting, it'll just be one more naked guy running down the street.
You know who does do that today, Roots?
My mom!
Oh yeah, she's crazy.
Anyway, dude, I never thought that I would be excited again for another survival VR title. And now there's two in active development that I'm very much looking forward to. It just goes to show how the progress that these studios are making, the kind of talent that they're bringing to these games to make me want to play them again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Traveling Man 3775 says Song in the Smoke says summer release has to be September or early October. They've been planning for. Yeah, summer ends on September 21st. So
Hey, that's my birthday. Summer's that's when it ends. Oh, I feel special.
I think so. I could be wrong about that, but it's right around there.
I don't feel so special.
Anyway, yeah, looking forward to that one as well. Song in the Smoke, very artistic looking game.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, one more game to talk about this week before we get into the week's reminders. And I just wanted to make a quick mention of Spacefolk City. Spacefolk City is a new city building VR game coming to Oculus Quest and PC later this year. It's the first full game from Moon Mode, which is a developer that has otherwise helped out on VR titles like Down the Rabbit Hole and Paper Valley. The game's designed to be a casual experience that newer VR players can jump into. Rather than being a realistic building simulator, Spacefolk has players building out a floating metropolis in the middle of space that's occupied by these odd little critters. You'll build out vertical cities with new facilities and decorate them how you see fit. Solar activity has destroyed these creatures' past homes, so it's up to you to build them a new sustainable environment for them to thrive in. Each of the city's inhabitants has its own interests and abilities that can aid you. Spacefolk City will hit Oculus Quest and PCVR headsets for fall. $30. Roots, you ever really get into these building sim type games?
I loved Sim City or Sim Earth or that type of stuff. I did Sim Ant back in the day on Nintendo. That was cool. I got to be an ant and send out my droves of ants to take spiders down, and it's cool, but not something like this. I mean, it's cool. I mean, you at $30 right there. Oh, whoa, you just kind of smacked me across the face. Other than that, I mean, there are people that love this type of thing. It looks very unique. Looks like it could be pretty cool, pretty deep. I don't, depending on the gameplay, but $30 is a lot of money in it. We just talked about this last week. What games does it put it in the in the category with? Am I going to get this game, Spacefolk City, or am I going to get another game for $30, which is the high end of the games, right?
I Expect You to Die too.
Yeah.
Is going to be $30. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, so it better be really good or it's going to be dropped in cost. I mean, it looks really colorful. And I guess for people like that, I guarantee there's people out there that have been really craving a sim, sim Earth or sim, city type of game, or even one this is kind of more like, what is that one where you got the guys that are spelunking and I have it. I can't remember what the name of it is, but there's a PC game that's really popular. Oxygen Not Included or something like that, or something to Oxygen, right? It's a pretty good game. This is kind of similar to that, it looks like.
Yeah, this kind of game has never really been my jam, but this looks like something that would be very interesting to look at, not only with the art style and the colorful little diorama laid out in front of you, but with all of the little, there's a lot going on in these little worlds. So while I don't know how much fun, I would have playing something like this, I think that this is something like Demio that would really benefit from a guest mode, something where somebody can get in their VR headset with a friend who's playing. So someone else is playing, but I'm in their space there. They can't see me, but we can talk, right? And I can see what they're doing and what they're doing, working on. And I get to, enjoy their world that they're building. And not only that, but I get to enjoy their company as well. I feel like this concept of a guest mode in these type of chill out video games is something that really needs to be considered by developers going forward as an easy way to add value to their game, especially with a game like Demio that already has co-op mode built into it. It wouldn't take much for them to implement a guest mode.
Yeah, you can call it guest mode or well, not observation mode, but something of that nature, right? I mean, you just
Right.
want to watch. I just want to watch, man. But and make it to would they have to own the game? That would be the question.
That's
Probably.
interesting. Yeah, probably so. But still, I mean, it would be a cool feature to have.
Yeah, I mean, you got an incentive. If we're gonna play, maybe this, today we hang out in mine, tomorrow we hang out in yours, and or whatever. So.
Kazi says he's been noticing a lot more restock notices online for PS5. I have noticed this as well, and as has been the case for the last few weeks, we had community members walk away with PlayStations from our Discord. Who was it this week, Roots? Was it
Techno
was it
glitch.
Mepper?
I know Techno got one, but that might have been last week.
That was last week. Well, somebody got one this week. I think it might have been Mepper. Was it you, Mepper, that ended up snagging one this week? No, somebody got one on our Discord this week. It was pretty cool, and it made me think of Phil Yarn. Where you at, Phil? Man, you got to be watching. I told these guys to start tagging you. Because Phil's looking for one. Roots, and I think most of the people in our community now that's trying to get one of these things has got one.
Yeah, they've been getting them pretty good. Wolveraza says he had a girlfriend that played Second Life like it was her first life, and also played Sim 4 for hours. I used to, what was that Sim one, the online one, Sim Online? I used to play that. That was my first, I guess, into multiplayer gaming, which is kind of weird to admit. Actually, I feel kind of weird saying that
And
was.
Mepper in the chat does confirm it was him that got one this week. So.
All right, Mepper did it. You can do it too. Derail's hooking everybody up.
Yeah, you guys tag Phil. I always see these posts on the Discord like an hour after they go up. You guys that see it in real time, tag Phil. He said he was going to be turning notifications back on, so tag him up. Let's get him one so that we can all have our PS5s on the Virtual Strangers Discord.
Absolutely.
All right, so I think that's going to wrap up our gaming segment for this week. Bring us into this week's reminders, and as usual, we do have games out this week. Namely, I Expect You to Die 2, coming to us from Shell Games on August the 24th. This game is coming to all major VR platforms simultaneously. 2 days, Roots. 2 days until I Expect You to Die 2 drops.
You have 2 days now to get through Gaming Science Teacher's favorite game, or one of her favorite games, and so you can get ready for the second one, right? I'm actually looking forward to this. I really enjoyed the first one. It was very intelligently, wittily made, right? And it was actually challenging, and it's one of the best escape the room type of games I've played in VR. So
yeah, and I mean, it's one of the OG VR games, but in terms of quality, still holds up with today's VR games. Absolutely, it's an evergreen VR title. It's a game that people are going to buy forever because it's that good.
yeah, absolutely. Actually, this is blowing me away. Traveling Man said a new model of PS5 just released in Australia, a slimmer model. I'm always worried, man. I want the nice beefy thick model, you know what I mean, with all the bells and whistles. And then they start thinning it down, and supposedly it's as good, but I guess it's as good, right?
I knew that there was a slim version coming. I didn't know that it was already dropping in Australia. That's cool. Uh, a lot of people like these slimmer models because it fits into their entertainment center a little bit better. I tend to like having the extra space when it comes to these kind of high-powered machines because generally it leads to better airflow and
Overheating
better
issues
heat.
for the new
Yeah,
ones. Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
Anyway, cool to see that we're starting to get iterations on this thing, and people are finally starting to get their hands on them.
Oh, did you hear this? Mepper says there's rumors now that the PS5 Pro is coming in 2023. Yeah, Wes. Okay, see, Wes is one. I can tell he doesn't believe in it, and two, he's rolling his eyes. He's like, "Please, dude, I'm Mr. PlayStation, bro. I heard that shit last week."
I rolled my eyes because people have been saying this since before the thing even launched.
Oh, really?
So Sony repeatedly denies it, and they may very well be a pro model that ends up coming out later in the lifespan of PlayStation 5, but I don't think that it's anything that's in the works right now.
No, it's they've got to exhaust it, make sure this one's not as good. I mean, right now it's so beefy. There's no reason to get anything. And Wolveraza says, you all know who else likes a thick model?
My
Oh
mom.
yes, the thicker the better, she says.
I do. Now I think Sony would have gone with developing a pro model a lot sooner had the Xbox marketing campaign worked because Xbox really clung to that teraflop number and said, "Look, bro, we have 12 T-flops instead of 10. Our machine's better." If that had worked and people had gone the Xbox route instead of the PlayStation route, I'm sure PlayStation would have rectified it by putting a model out that has better stats than the Xbox version. But the fact of the matter is that people don't want those Xboxes. I mean, the people that want them have them, and people are still trying to get their hands on PlayStations. So I don't see them putting out a Pro anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree.
Traffic Jams from Little Chicken, published by Vertigo Games, coming August 26th to the PlayStation VR platform. People say that this is a lot of good fun, Roots. I'm starting to feel weird about not having played it.
I know. I've been thinking the same thing, and I'm also thinking that lady's, or I guess that's Cass. That PSVR looks brand new, man. It looks shiny, brand new, like they just took it out of the box and are playing it for the first time. And maybe it is, but how crazy, dude! I definitely would like to play this game for sure.
Yeah. I bet they don't ever play PSVR, dude. They don't slum it like that.
Well, you know what? They're missing out on some of the best games out there, bro.
The best, Kenty Poo.
Yep.
The best.
Yeah, the best.
But that's a for a future episode. We'll work all that out, and we'll give the definitive answer in a couple months from now. Mepper says, I'm wondering how much extra power would help PSVR 2. Well, that's the thing. We don't know yet. What we do know is that there's going to be advanced optimization techniques involved with the development, not only of the hardware, but the software involved with PlayStation 5 VR. So that remains to be seen. I know that the PS4 Pro was pretty much a must have for VR gamers because it made a significant difference in the VR performance as compared to the OG PS4. So there certainly could be a use case for it. And I do think that if VR takes off in the way that Sony wants it to, that would actually really help make the case for a Pro model in the latter half of the PS5 life cycle.
Yeah, maybe we'll hear rumors that the Xbox Pro model or whatever they call it won't be able to play VR, and then they'll not deliver again. Yeah, isn't that weird? Or like this new system, it's going to play VR. It's powerful. Well, I said they said it's powerful enough to play VR. They didn't lie, Wes. They just never implemented it and said, we're just not going that route. Crazy.
Yeah, nuts. And as mentioned earlier, Myst coming to us this week from Cyan Worlds, August 26th, coming to Rift and Steam VR. Really looking forward to this one, Roots. And man, what a difficult time we're going to have picking Game of the Month this month.
That's going to be hard, man. The shaping up for Game of the Year, man. It's going to be an awesome conversation. We're not going to be talking about these crappy ass games. I say this every year, man. Every year is like where, you're kind of pushing all the older stuff that's not as good, and the next batch for the 2021 becomes so amazing. And as you look at last year's, you're like, oh my God, we actually talked about that game. It's antiquated. Half-Life what? Come on, dude. It's going to be an amazing 2021 show.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be great. We've already had some great releases and many more still to come.
Yep.
All right, that brings us to our next reminder wish list. This is the part of the show where we ask all of you to help us to support these developers by joining us right now in real time as we go and wish list a game on one of our preferred VR stores. And this week, Roots, it's kind of a no-brainer. Hellsweeper VR is live in Steam. I'm going to go there right now and put it on my wish list.
I thought you were saying you're going to say traffic jams. That's a no-brainer. Actually, I am adding that to my list because I am starting to, just like you, I'm starting to feel weird about not being able to direct traffic. Like, what if suddenly tomorrow somebody said the world depends on you directing traffic? I don't know how to do it. And I could have learned it just by playing this game. So
there you go. It's teaching you real life skills, bro.
Yeah, and we need them. We need to all be able to direct.
But yeah, this helps out developers. I mean, this is the one way you can help developers without spending a dime. Literally, all it takes is 2 minutes of your time tops and a few clicks. And what you're doing here is you're raising this developer's profile on the store and getting them better placement in the recommendation algorithms. Not only that, but it helps them to gauge interest in their game. That way they can make realistic expectations with regards to how their game is going to perform on launch day. So definitely, if you don't mind, be sure to get out there and wishlist these games because it really does help. These guys They ask for it. You can see it universally in these ads. They're always asking for people to wish list their game. There's a reason why they all do that, and that's because it's important to them.
Yeah, it's important to you guys too, because how are you going to know if it's on sale? Like, you're going to get an email that says, hey, a game that you have on your wish list is on sale. And you're like, oh my God, this is the daily deal. I didn't even know it. I would have missed it. Thank God I wish listed. I mean, I guarantee that's happened to me a couple times where I just all of a sudden I got a notification and I rushed over there and bought it. So
yeah, so be sure to wish list these games, and be sure not to leave a comment letting us know what you wish listed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for the old reverse psychology routes. Like I tell them every week to let us know what they wish listed. Nobody ever tells me.
You just tricked half the audience into there. They're immediately tell you what the hell.
You can't tell me what to do. This is America.
Yes, America.
America. I'll tell you what I wish listed if I want to. Yeah, so be sure not to leave a comment telling us what you wish listed.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't make sure you don't give us a thumbs up, right? Because
that's right.
that also helps the algorithm rhythm.
Definitely do not thumb this video up. Like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can do your part to support our channel and our community. Of course, if you're new to the channel, the best and easiest thing that you can do is click the big red button and the bell. This will inform you every time we upload a video or go live to stream, say, some gameplay, like I very much plan on doing this week. So be sure, if you haven't already, to hit the button and the bell. And if you want to do a little something more, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon. Only $3 per month gets you access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, and exclusive content. $3 per month, not per week, just $3 per month. 75 cents per week. The show notes themselves alone are worth that, I would think.
A little over 7 cents a day. I know you guys can afford that. EV Man versus Gas says, I wish listed it, Wes. You can't tell me what not to.
So. There you go. So, how dare you, bro?
Yeah, how dare you?
How dare you?
Anyway, final reminder. Well, quickly, just a reminder, those of you out there who play on the Oculus Quest and would like your own copy of Ven VR Adventure, be sure to go back a couple of videos ago on our channel to the Ven VR Adventure video so that you can enter to win your very own copy of that amazing game. We are going to draw a winner live in 1 week from today on Virtual Strangers 120. So if you haven't entered yet, be sure to head on over there and put your name in the hat. If you don't play, you can't win.
Another $30 game that's worth every penny, and you can get it for free. That's so awesome, right? That's the best platformer on the Quest, hands down.
And it's cross-buy, so you don't even have to have a Quest. If you have a Rift, you can enter as well.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you can just make a Quest account and then claim it, and then you can claim it on your Rift account. So that's good point.
And last but not least, we invite you all into our home being the Virtual Strangers Discord. You'll find an invitation in the description down below. And this is where we live. This is where we talk VR. It's where we talk life. It's where we hook up for multiplayer games and so much more. We invite you in to join the conversation. Virtual Strangers Discord, home for the hardcore VR gaming enthusiast.
Yeah, home is where the heart is, so come on home.
All right, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends. Bye now.
Take it easy.